Hi everyone, welcome back to Mando Lessons. My name is Baron Collins Hill. Welcome to episode 4 of the Intermediate Mandolin series. In episode 1, we learned the tune Gallopede. Episode 2, we learned the chords and learned to think about the chords as we played the melody. In episode 3, we put the chords and melody together into what you might call a chord melody style. And in this episode, we're going to change bass a little bit, start thinking about our right hand, and kind of filling in some of those spaces that we are presented with in the skeleton of the tune. If you haven't learned Gallopede already, you got to go back, learn the tune, work your way through episodes 1, 2, and 3, because you're going to be a little bit at a loss without those. It's definitely worth your time. Before we jump in here, I'm just going to put in a quick plug that you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. It's a great way to keep up with these ongoing lessons. I put out a new lesson every single week. All my lessons are always free, but there are a couple ways to support me in the description. Help me keep making new lessons every single week. Got a PayPal page where you can make a one-time donation. Got a Patreon page where you can become a member and get access to lessons early, patron-only live streams, things like that. Or you can pick up some merch. I've got t-shirts and mugs. Not required, but all the links are in the description, and it's greatly appreciated. Now let's jump into the lesson. As I mentioned, this lesson pertains to the right hand. Now we've got all this space in the tune. You know, it's a combination of eighth notes and quarter notes and other note lengths. And what we're going to do in this lesson is one of my favorite exercises. Is just fill in any of those longer notes. So if you have a quarter note, you're going to turn it into 2/8. Instead of what that's going to do is it's really going to help out your right hand. One of the biggest things that will benefit your playing is getting proper pick direction into your right hand. This tune is a reel, so we're going to be using the pattern down, up, the entire time throughout the tune. And by creating a constant stream of eighth notes, it doesn't leave any question or any space or any problems for your right hand, because you're going to just learn that every next note is going to be the opposite of what you just did. So we'll zoom in to the close-up screen and jump into the melody with all eighth notes. We're going to work on this by ear and visually. Try to figure out what I'm doing just by watching and listening. That said, there are tablature and standard notation over on my website, mandolessons.com, where you can take a look at kind of what's going on note by note. But it's really not about the notes here. It's about the right hand and figuring out a way to keep it always going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's the key to a solid rhythm. So, again, here we go. Down, up, 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 down, up. That's the idea. So if you haven't figured it out at this point, it might be a good time to go look at the tablature. It is an interesting sound. It's maybe not necessarily the most musical sound you'll ever create on the mandolin. And if your pick direction isn't already in pretty good shape, it's going to feel a little awkward. But just keep at it, and at some point it will click. You'll get that idea that you really need to have your right hand in a constant motion and a kind of motor of down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And that gets confusing when there is space in the tune with those longer notes, because then you're doubling down sometimes. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. by filling in all of those notes into constant stream of eighth notes, you get down, up, 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 down, up. And that's going to get your right hand just constantly moving. And then when you go back to putting those spaces back in, your hand needs to come back up anyway. You're just not making connection with the strings. So rather than going, if you look at my right hand, and then we do it again, you're seeing my right hand. If the sound was off, it would just look like my right hand is going down and up and down and up and down and up. You don't know if it's a quarter note or an eighth note, because your hand needs to come back up in order to go down, even if you're doing 2 downs in a row. That's the idea. So let's move on to the B part. Again. Third part. Third part again. That's a lot of right hand workout. So hopefully after doing that for a while, run through the tune a couple times, every time you pick up the instrument in that way, do that for a week maybe until the next lesson comes out once a day, and your right hand is really going to start getting a natural sense of that down, up pattern. If you need a little extra credit maybe, try adding in those chords while doing the constant down, up pattern. It would sound like this. If you kind of breezed right through that right hand exercise, try to add in those chords and see if you can challenge yourself in a different way. That's all for now. Once again, subscribe if you haven't already, because the next episode is coming out next week. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.